Okay, so are you curious about how AI could actually, like, shake things up in higher education?
Right, not just the hype, but like the real tangible ways it could change how we learn.
We're diving into a research paper today that really caught our eye.
It's called,
It's by a mention
and it's
office,
called, mention paper title,
and it proposes something pretty radical.
a whole new system for what they call formative research.
And just so everyone's on the same page, formative research is about immersing students in real research projects.
Getting them that hands-on experience, beyond the typical lectures and textbooks.
Which, let's be honest, can sometimes feel like shouting into the void, am I right?
I remember pouring my heart into this one project in college.
Convinced it was groundbreaking stuff.
Ended up buried in a digital folder somewhere.
Lucky if the TA skimmed it for a grade.
Right, and that's exactly the kind of experience this paper wants to avoid.
They argue that formative research should be about building practical skills and fostering a real research culture among students.
Not just checking boxes for a degree.
Okay, so how do they propose to actually make that happen?
Well, they've laid out this incredibly detailed plan, even including a diagram.
Figure 2, computational architecture specifications, if you want to get technical.
But basically, they envision a system driven by AI.
All right, so walk me through it. What does this AI-powered education utopia actually look like?
Well, imagine this. Instead of professors scrambling for project ideas last minute.
An AI agent actually generates them.
Wait, hold on. AI is designing the research projects now.
Yes.
It's using something called generative AI.
Which is basically AI that can create new content.
In this case, it would be generating research projects tailored to specific fields and skill levels.
Complete with objectives, research questions, even potential roadmaps for the students.
So it's like having a superpowered professor who's also a master at tailoring projects to what students actually need to learn.
That's a serious upgrade from my let's build a website about something experience in college.
Exactly.
And it gets even more interesting.
There's another AI component they call the semantic recruiter.
Okay, semantic recruiter. That sounds intriguing.
If a little intimidating, break it down for me.
Think of it like an AI matchmaker for research teams.
It takes into account your skills, your interests.
Even your university's network of professors and researchers.
Then it uses all that information to build the perfect team for each project.
No more awkward group projects where everyone's randomly thrown together and hoping for the best.
Sign me up.
But how does it actually work?
How does the AI know who's a good fit for what?
That's where the semantic part comes in.
It uses something called embedding databases.
Basically, it's a way for AI to understand the relationships between different pieces of information.
It's how AI gets the meaning behind words and concepts.
So if I'm interested in AI and ethics, for example,
It wouldn't just look for keywords in my profile.
it would actually understand those concepts and how they connect to other students' skills and interests.
It's like having a superpowered LinkedIn for finding the perfect research collaborators.
Precisely.
It ensures that the teams are formed not just based on availability, but on a deeper understanding of everyone's strengths and how they can complement each other.
And that's not a... This system also incorporates something pretty unexpected.
Blockchain,
Blockchain.
like the technology behind cryptocurrency.
What does that have to do with research projects?
It's actually a really innovative application of blockchain technology.
They propose using smart contracts to manage the projects.
Okay, I'm going to need a little more explanation on that one.
What are smart contracts and why are they important here?
So imagine a smart contract as a self-executing agreement written in code.
In this case, it would outline everyone's roles and responsibilities in the research project.
It would track who contributed what, ensuring that everyone gets credit where credit is due.
So no more worrying about that one person in the group project who coasts on everyone else's work.
That's a relief for students everywhere. It
Exactly.
makes the whole system more fair and transparent.
But it gets even more interesting.
They also suggest using social tokens as a reward system.
Okay, now you're really losing me. Social tokens.
Is this where things start to sound like a sci-fi movie?
It's not as complicated as it sounds.
Basically, think of social tokens as digital rewards you earn within the university ecosystem.
You complete tasks, contribute meaningfully to research, maybe even mentor other students.
And you earn these tokens.
So like digital gold stars, but potentially with more value.
Exactly.
It creates a system where academic achievements translate into something tangible, something
Yeah.
that could even have real-world value down the line.
That's a pretty powerful incentive to go above and beyond, wouldn't you say?
But what could students actually do with these tokens?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, so we're talking about students earning digital tokens for their academic achievements.
It sounds like something straight out of a video game.
But I have to admit, it's kind of brilliant.
What could students actually do with these tokens, though?
That's where things get really interesting.
Remember how we were talking about how formative research is all about gaining practical skills?
Well, imagine if you could use these tokens to access exclusive workshops, masterclasses.
Maybe even internships with companies doing cutting-edge research.
So it's like a whole economy built around knowledge and skill
Powered by these tokens.
instead of just grades on a transcript.
You'd have this portfolio of tangible achievements that actually mean something in the real world.
Exactly.
And it goes beyond just individual rewards.
Remember, the paper emphasizes self-learning as a key outcome.
Imagine a system where students can use their tokens to fund their own independent research projects.
Collaborate with other students, maybe even mentor their peers.
That's a far cry from the usual, here's a textbook, see you at the final exam approach.
We're talking about students taking ownership of their own education.
Becoming active seekers of knowledge rather than passive recipients.
But let's bring this back to you, the listener, for a second.
How could this kind of system actually benefit you as a student?
Well, for starters, imagine graduating not just with a degree, but with a portfolio of actual research projects under your belt.
Projects you were passionate about, projects where you made a real contribution.
Not to mention the practical skills and real-world experience you'd gain along the way.
Talk about a resume booster.
And it sounds like the benefits go even deeper than that.
This kind of system could fundamentally change how you learn, right? One thing the paper highlights is how well this aligns with something called project-based learning, or PBL.
Instead of just reading about AI in a textbook, imagine actually using AI to tackle a real-world problem.
Collaborating with a team of equally passionate peers.
And those peers wouldn't be just whoever happens to be in your class that semester.
This AI matchmaker we talked about would be putting together teams based on your actual skills and interests.
So you're learning alongside people who challenge and inspire you.
Exactly.
And let's not forget the role of the professors in all of this.
With AI handling some of the more tedious aspects of research and teaching, like project generation and grading,
Professors are freed up to be mentors and guides.
it's like taking the best aspects of a traditional university
The expert guidance, the collaborative environment.
and supercharging it with AI.
Instead of replacing teachers, this system empowers them to be even better educators.
And for students, it's not about becoming passive consumers of information.
But active drivers of their own learning journey.
The paper explicitly states that this system is designed to help students develop self-learning abilities.
So wait, they're saying AI could actually make us better learners in the long run?
That's a pretty bold claim.
How would that even work?
It's about creating an environment where students are constantly challenged, engaged.
And rewarded for their curiosity and initiative.
When you're immersed in a project, you're passionate about working alongside a team of equally driven individuals.
You naturally start to develop those self-learning muscles.
You're not just learning what to think,
You're learning how to think, how to find answers.
how to adapt to new information and challenges.
Precisely.
And those are the skills that will serve you well no matter what field you go into.
No matter what challenges the future throws your way.
I have to say, when I first heard about AI in education, I was a little apprehensive.
But this paper paints a surprisingly optimistic picture.
It's not about replacing human connection or the core values of education.
It's about using technology to enhance those things.
To create a more engaging, rewarding, and ultimately a more effective learning experience for everyone involved.
It's like we're talking about a total paradigm shift here, from passively absorbing information to actively shaping your own education,
Building real-world skills.
and even earning rewards for your contributions.
It's a pretty exciting vision for the future, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And I think what's most compelling is that it addresses some of the biggest challenges facing higher education today.
Making learning more engaging, more relevant to the real world.
And ultimately, more equitable for all students.
And it all comes back to that idea of self-learning, right?
If we can equip students with the skills and the mindset to be lifelong learners.
Who knows what they'll be able to achieve?
Exactly, and that's something this paper really emphasizes.
The idea that this technology isn't about replacing human ingenuity, but about amplifying it.
It's about creating a world where everyone has the tools and the opportunity to reach their full potential.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with something to ponder.
If this AI-powered education system became a reality,
What kind of learner would you become?
What world-changing projects would you tackle?
What knowledge would you be most excited to unlock?
The possibilities are truly limitless.
They really are.
So keep that in mind as you navigate your own learning journey,
Whether you're a student just starting out,
or someone looking to level up their skills.
the future of education is here.
And it's full of potential.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time.